Hey onesies, Josh Williams here, and thanks for checking out this week's episode of the One Man Podcast. It's always free and available on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, and many more, as well as on the web at onemanpodcast.com. So please, whatever platform you're listening on, like and subscribe. While you're at it, give it a rating, leave a review. Why? Because it helps the podcast, and I'd really appreciate it. How about that? What about social media? Search One Man Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube to keep up with what's going on there. Get a little extra content for yourself. And finally, to get in touch, please send your emails to contact@onemanpodcast.com. You send it, I read it on the podcast. That's the deal. Thanks for listening, guys, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode.
I'm K. Trevor Wilson from TV's Letterkenny, and you're listening to the One Man Podcast.
Yeah!
It's Josh Williams here, and welcome to the One Man Podcast, episode number 131 for Wednesday, November 13th, 2019. How's it going, onesies? How has your week been since last we chatted? Well, it's been a lot of snow everywhere I've been. I have been in northern, well, there's a lot more north available, but I went pretty far north into Quebec, working a week of marketing activations in Val-d'Or, Quebec. And that's almost entirely what I've done in the last week. And to be honest with you, there's nothing much to write home about in that regard this week, guys. I got to see an old friend, my old barber. And what else? Hung out with my buddy Chris today. I had games night with some friends last night. Spent the day running around with my mom. Like, really nothing super spectacular, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think of what interesting things I can tell you about my trip. Those are going to be kind of the things we talk about this week. So I'm also getting sick. Big shock. I get sick all the time. And you know what? It happens every now and again, especially when, your body's susceptible to garbage. Garbage in, garbage out, as they say. So yeah, you guys, if you've been listening since the beginning, you've heard me sick a couple times on this podcast. I'm set up here in bed to do the podcast from a little bit more comfortable position. And I think the reason I got sick is pretty straightforward. I was in Ottawa very early Wednesday morning. I left, and it was still green grass here in Ottawa. And you know what? The weather wasn't too cold, so I brought hoodies and sweaters and thinking I'm going to be great. And then as my partner Khalil and I started heading up, the 5-hour drive north to our destination, we saw really didn't, trickle in. It didn't kick in mentally as we were driving because, you're just driving and it's, the green grass goes to lesser grass to sort of muddy areas. And I just figured it's country roads, right? And then eventually we're like, oh, fuck, look, there's snow on the ground here. Like, not really even paying attention, right? I'm like, oh, fuck, there's snow on the ground here. And then as we're driving more and more, it's like, oh, fuck, the snow. These people got hit by snow. Then it's snowing. And then we get to where we're going, full blown blizzard. And I'm like, well, I wasn't equipped for this. So the whole 5 days I was gone just hit hard with snow. It snowed every single day. There were breaks with sun, but every day added more snow to this town. So by the time we left, it was ridiculous. I had to shovel snow off the car every single day. And because, again, it was nice when I left, I didn't bother bringing a scraper. Yeah, how about that? I'm scraping my car clean with like my arms and stuff. And yeah, I'm at a Canadian Tire, and I'm like, I'm not buying a scraper and a brush. I'm not doing it. I've got one at home. I just didn't remember to bring it. So I will do the whole sit in the car for 5 minutes, let the windshield warm up, and then just wipe it clean. I'm that asshole driving around with the snow on top of his car. Mind you, it was 2 blocks to the Canadian Tire, and again, no jacket. Keep in mind, it's not that I'm just being lazy. I just don't want to be out in the cold, freezing my ass off, scraping snow off with my bare hands. Yeah. So it was an interesting trip. We got to have fun. I met one of the directors of the company that's working for Influence. She was super cool. If she's listening, Tanya was very, very cool. We had we worked well together at the store, but we were busting each other's balls. She was very, very funny. Had a great time hanging out, spending time. We would go for dinner every night. My buddy Khalil, who has worked with me before on previous activations and stuff many times, was fantastic. We were there for a few days solo, and then just doing some basic stuff I've done before. And then, yeah, I'm on kind of all over the map here, guys. I'm going to try to shorten it up real quick. Basically, my job was we're going up there. We were helping with the grand opening of a Canadian Tire. like a Home Depot for anyone listening outside of Canada. Big shout out to my Michigan onesies, my West Coast onesies in California and Washington and Oregon. Oregon, not as much this month. Huge shout out to my East Coast onesies here in Canada. Thank you very much. And of course, to all the new countries and, states and things like that listening this month that don't normally, hey, welcome to this podcast. It's not going to be a good one this week. But having said that, we're setting up some stuff in the store here. And the worst part was it's all French. Not that that's worse than it's French, it's all French. My French is not ideal. And the person I went up with doesn't really speak much French at all. So he was busting his ass to get as much French as he could. And we made it work, but it was rough. It was like people are just talking fast and French there. And you're just like, they're like, and you're like, what? Je m'excuse. Speak slower. A lot of people too, it's like they talk quiet. And you're like, buddy, this is killing me. I can't understand a thing you're saying. And I'm just like, here, have some candies. Fuck off. We're doing sampling of their house brand stuff. And then when the weekend rolled around, so they put us up in, like, just a heads up, they put us up in a hotel. And basically my partner and I shared a hotel room. We chilled in the hotel. I think we went to like a liquor store the first night, grabbed some shit at like the grocery store so we'd have some food in our hotel fridge. But basically it would be like we'd get up, we'd hit the store, after work, myself, Khalil, and Tanya would go and grab dinner. We'd hit a few different places. Went to a Saint Hubert where both her and I got sick the first night. Just nauseous feeling. And I think it could have just been because of the weather change. Like everyone, Khalil's very health conscious. The guy eats like a vegan. But yeah, I certainly don't. And, I don't know about Tanya, but we were just not feeling well, at this restaurant. Went to the first night. That was fucked up. I got back and just over the course of the evening, slowly became a little more like myself again. But overall the weekdays when it was just the three of us went fine. Dinners were good, whatever. We had a good time. And then we got our reinforcements. We started to do this big for the weekend days. This sort of trivia game throughout the store. You're running around to stations in the store and you're getting stamps and you're answering trivia questions. You win prizes. A friend of mine who I've worked with before many times and who I was really looking forward to seeing because I haven't seen her in a while. Things didn't go great with her. And, I don't want to run anybody down on the podcast, so I'm not going to. I know it's stupid to bring up, but to just glaze over my entire weekend without saying anything about it, I got to be honest with you guys. It was a little rough. It was a little rough. And all I can say is that the situation was not ideal. And, that's about it. We had fun for one evening when we were hanging out Saturday night. But everything sort of just went off the rails in terms of, that particular team. However, we had another team of people coming up from Montreal. So we had two teams that helped as reinforcements doing that trivia thing on the weekend. One of them was from Ottawa and the other was from Montreal. And man, did I ever meet some cool dudes from Montreal. We got Johnny, we got Jeff, we got Yaganesh. Those boys came up from Montreal and we had a fucking great night. We only had one night where we got to chill together because basically we were there all night and then we worked all day Saturday. We hung out Saturday night and then everybody worked on Sunday and then drove home at the end of it. And, I just remember we were hanging out. We were having a good time. On Saturday night, we all went for dinner together. And then, we went to the, liquor store. I got fucking old man drunk. We were having a good time. We were hanging out actually in the little restaurant at the bar until like 2 a.m. It was good. It was a good time. We drank wine, whiskey, beer. I got these pups gathered around me like I'm an old man telling stories at a fucking campfire. And, we had a fucking great time. We were shooting the shit. I really enjoyed meeting those guys. Never worked with any of them before. They were all fucking hilarious and fantastic and good natured or whatever. It was a good time, chilling with the boys. So, all around, guys, I spent 5 days straight out of town, away from home, working and then just killing time in a hotel room. I have a lot more I could say on it, but for now, I'm just going to say, hey, I made that money. I am back home. Very happy to be home. When I got back home, I saw green grass for, half a day, but Sunday, I don't even know what day of the week it is. Sunday, Monday? Monday. It was Monday, yeah, because I was in there Sunday. It snowed again. It snowed like crazy now. Ottawa's covered in snow just like the last place was. But I was definitely getting sick yesterday. I was trying to help my mom out. She's getting her... I mean, this is probably boring for people who don't live anywhere near snow, but as soon as the snow comes down, you got to get your fucking snow tires on your vehicle or you're just slipping and sliding around. You know what I mean? Like you're on a slip and slide. That's pretty much, I was going to say, like, I'm like, well, I don't want to use the goddamn words. Yeah. It's like you're on a slip and slide. You can't get your footing. Your car can't get its footing. It slips around all over the place. So, she made an appointment. My mom is smart. She made an appointment to get her tires changed like 2 weeks ago. And as soon as she turned on her car, she went out to her car to turn it on to go to her appointment, and the car wouldn't start. So I drove her over to help her out and, calling roadside assistance and all this bullshit. Because we both have battery boosters. I thought, the battery's just dead. We'll boost it. We tried both our battery boosters. Neither one of them would work. But then this dude from, what do you call it? CAA shows up and he's got some stronger booster. And I thought, like I've used my trickle, booster a few times now and no issues. And the one that my mom has boosted that exact car probably 10 times. And for whatever reason, it just wouldn't do it. In fact, it was getting more and more dead as we went. This guy hooks his on. This car starts immediately. He's like, oh, there you go. Car starts immediately. I'm like, well, what the fuck? I know that both of our battery things aren't dead, So what's the fucking story here? I've even boosted somebody else with the one that I have currently. They're in Kingston one time, as a matter of fact. So I don't know. I was a pain in the ass. So she went and got her shit done and she just replaced her batteries. Maybe the battery's too fucking toast or something like that. But long story short, my day was like being sick and doing car work. I bought a lot of whiskey yesterday too. I got to tell you guys, I've been sitting around watching whiskey videos in my hotel room, and I'm getting more excited about doing these whiskey tasting. My buddy Mark reached out to me and said he'd like to do one. He thinks it's a great idea, and I would love to sit and drink whiskey with Mark. So that's something that's probably going to happen relatively soon, I would say. Any of you onesies listening, if you're in the Ottawa area and you'd like to, maybe partake in a whiskey evening, let me know. I'd be more than happy to have some of you guys come and taste my wares, What else? Oh man, can't you tell this podcast is just so interesting? Just flying by with the boring stories. 11 minutes, that's all it's been. Jesus. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I got going on with me. There's not a whole hell of a lot going on right now. There's something coming up this week and there's some new things coming up that I'll tell you guys more about when I know more about them. But for now, I'm just happy to be home. I hung out with my pals, Jess and Evan, last night, and we played some games, but I was sick. I came home from the running around the errands and stuff last night, and I was just like, I don't feel good. I jumped in bed for an hour or so. I got this weird nausea, and I had it a little bit when I was out of town, too, and it's probably just from being in and out of the cold without proper jackets and just catching up on me. We also had long days, too, and long drives. I'm just getting old, and this shit catching up on me. That's it. But I slept for a bit, and then I was almost going to bail on my friends last night, but I'm like, nah, they don't bail on me. I'm not going to bail on them. So I went out, and we just played some card games. Nothing spectacular. I mean, I've been kind of like low pro since I've been back. I know today I went and got my hair cut from my barber, Jay. He used to cut my hair when I worked at TELUS right before I started stand-up. And he got his own place. Happy for him. And check that out. Geez, guys, it really feels like I'm grasping at straws here, right? Just for some sort of content to talk about. I appreciate the fact that you're still listening if you are. I gotta make this fun for you. I don't want to I want to give you guys a fucking hour every week. I know I'm not doing the 2-hour ones anymore, which is, I think, good for all of us. But, I mean, honestly, if I have a week where there's nothing going on, I mean, there's not really a whole lot I can squeeze out of this. I watched Crave TV a lot. I will say that. Not to give them a plug or whatever, but Crave TV had a really cool thing where you can watch like all these old sitcoms. And I watched like several episodes of Frasier, probably 10 episodes of the first season of Frasier. Fantastic show. If you're young and you don't know Frasier, which my colleague did not, you got to check it out. What a great fucking show. Sitting there and just listening to the old episodes. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal program. Never gets old. John Mahoney, who played Martin Crane, is dead now. Unfortunately. He was a good actor. Apparently, Kelsey Grammer's talking about trying to reboot the show, but it'd be difficult without, well, I mean, not impossible, but difficult. Without his father character, he's one of the sort of the heart and soul of the show as well. And I'm sure that the dog that played Eddie is long since dead. So, anyways, yeah, Jesus, Josh, just hang it up. Just hang up the microphone. You got nothing to say this week. Listen, yes, I do. Yes, I do. A quick shout out to my buddy Chris. My friend Chris was listening to the podcast recently. Chris has written it several times and co-hosted it with me. I was in his area today, and I decided to swing by and see him for a little bit, see what he's up to. But yeah, we went out to board game store, looked around, didn't buy anything. Good for me. I never go out and do things without buying shit. It's been kind of just like a putter around day, guys. And I mean, I may as well just tell you why. It's because I'm hosting Absolute Comedy all week. And I'm worried about being too low energy. Like I'm there tonight and I'm ready for bed right now. What time is it? So I'm recording this on Tuesday. Of course, it's 4:15 and I have to be there for 8:00 and I'm hosting and it's going to be up and down tonight. And I'm just not looking forward to it. Just tonight. Like I want to rest. I want to get a nap in, build my energy back up. I want to have a great week. I'm hosting for my buddy Jason Blanchard, who's a great headliner. But yeah, all in all, and I'm also freaked out because I mean, I should be working on my, prep for my album and dusting off my jokes and stuff. And I'm just not feeling well. And I'm just worried that, another week of shows is going to go by and it's a missed opportunity. So, it's November now. I got November, December, and I record in January. So I got to fucking get myself excited about doing these shows. I'm just kind of low energy, not feeling myself. I don't know. That's kind of it. I thought about a new segment I wanted to do a while back because I don't know about you guys, but I don't really pay attention to the news. And I used to think when I was younger, I'm like, oh, who could not pay attention to the news? It's so ignorant to just not know what's going on in the world. But to be honest with you, first off, we only get to find out what's going on in the world from the people who want us to know what's going on. And I mean by that, the people who want us to know what's going on in what parts of the world. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to write a joke a while back about how animals can live their entire lives without knowing about other countries and things that's going on in other parts of the world. You know what I mean? I find I turn on the news and I find out something that's just depressing, something I can do nothing about. And it just makes me feel sad. When someone shares like a story on Facebook about those festivals where they kill, 100,000 dogs and march them through the streets and then kill them and eat them. And I'm like, well, that's fucking horrible. What can I do about it? And they're like, nothing. It's just a horrible thing they do. Isn't that horrible? Yeah. And now I feel horrible. There's nothing I can do. Thanks for telling me. I was much happier before I knew that was a thing. So, that whole line, ignorance is bliss. It's like, yeah, it's bliss. Some people look down their nose at it, but certain forms of ignorance are kind of bliss. Like, I'm not saying I'm not informed when there's, voting and shit to do, but for the most part, like, everybody's been going crazy lately because I guess Don Cherry said something fucking racist. For anyone who's not Canadian, they're going to have no idea who this is. He's like a hockey talking head. He has been for a long time, but, and I mean a long time, decades. And it's just, who cares? If the guy said something stupid, an old guy said something not progressive and potentially racist. First off, anyone who looks at what he said, you go, yeah, it's not like it's the first time the guy said anything fucking stupid, or prejudice or whatever. But anyways, we're in the cancel culture, right? So if you can jump down someone's throat, especially an old person, right? Look at this old fuck said. Did you know that John Wayne back in the 50s? It's like, really? It's so fucking, yeah, it's so stupid. But anyways, everyone's mad at Don Cherry. He's fucking racist. It's like, yeah, he always was. It's like, it was like the same as when Trump was running for office and everyone was like, yeah, like my roommate's like, oh, did you hear that thing about the grab him by the pussy, whatever? And I was like, what is it? He's like, yeah, he got caught saying like, oh, let's grab her by the, you just grab her by the pussy. I'm like, yeah, are you surprised? I'm not the slightest bit surprised. Everyone should have known that he was a fucking weirdo egomaniac beforehand. The fact that there's proof of it doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Anyone who's shocked by this is a fucking idiot because there's so much evidence of just him having that personality type beforehand. So it just blows my mind. It's like people are like, oh, he said that. Of course he did. Don Cherry's been a fucking animal forever. Making fun of, basically he would say like the only people who wear like helmets with cages on them are like Europeans and Frenchmen and stuff like that. It's hilarious to me to think that people are upset by what you should have expected the fucking guy to say. But having said that, I've decided that since everyone would like to probably think I'm an idiot and, oh, well, Josh has no idea what's going on. He says he doesn't watch the news, doesn't pay attention to the news. I don't as much as I get a lot of my news stuff from Facebook. But, I don't know if I've said this before in the podcast, but I'm a big believer in, believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. So when I see an article on Facebook or whatever, you got to think like, well, who stands to gain from this position and that sort of thing. So I've decided that since, when you turn on the news and it's like in Kuwait today and this and that, like you're not getting every country's front page news, right? You're not. So how do you know that you're not as smart as you should be, not knowing what was going on? So I've decided that on the podcast, I am going to randomly educate all of us, including myself, by reading a front page news article from some random country. Let's see if I can find something here. I'm doing this live right now on my phone. Random country generator. I don't want to randomly generate a name of a country. Generate random countries. All right, well, let's do this. Rerun. Monaco in Western Europe. There was one sitting there initially, but I don't think I can go back. Can I go back to the first one? No, I can't. Yeah, so Monaco was the one that came up. I went back, but it took me right back to the Google search. And then Singapore came up. I went with Monaco. So now I'm going to go Monaco front page news. Let's see what we get. First fucking hit that we get. Monaco World, the Guardian. This is what we got, guys, coming up right here. We use cookies. Yay, we'll put the cookies in my thing and steal my identity. Okay. So who's the Guardian by? It's Europe, USA. April 2019. That was a while back. May 20. No, I want front page right now of the Guardian. I don't want fucking Monaco, the New York Times. That's not what I want. MonacoLife.net, November 6, 2019. Is that as close as we're going to get? Oh, here we go. List of newspapers in Monaco. MonacoLife.net. News brought to you by Pastor Real Estate Barclays. At a glance, featured. What the fuck is this? This year, the Princess Grace Foundation took a new direction, bringing in two-time Tony Award winner Brisa Trinchero. Is this Monaco? Monaco Life. Okay, well, I'm clicking on this article. It's the featured article right here. Let's see what's going on in Monaco. MonacoLife.net. Interview. Brisa Trinchero, Princess Grace Foundation USA CEO. USA CEO. All I know was this. This year, the Princess Grace Foundation took a bold new direction, bringing in two-time Tony Award winner Brisa Trinchero CEO. It marked the end of an era for the New York-based foundation. Well, it's a New York-based, which had operated under Toby Boshak from the last 2 decades. On the 90th anniversary of Princess Grace's birth, Monaco Life sat down with... I'm going back to Wikipedia. List of newspapers. Wikipedia. Below is a list of newspapers published in Monaco or with news of Monaco. The Riviera Times, monthly English, published in Nice. It says Nice, France, official website. Monaco Life, 10 times yearly. Fuck this country, man. It's making it hard for me. Monaco Hebdo, weekly newspaper. Let me just Google something different. What's going on in Monaco this week? What's going on in Monaco? Your weekend in Monaco, a unique experience. No, I don't want my weekend. Events calendar for Monaco. What to do in Monaco. Events in Monaco. It's all tourism stuff. Okay, we're trying Monaco newspaper. Yep. This is what I get for trying to... Monaco. Let's spell it right. Monaco newspaper. News from Monaco and the French Riviera. Monaco Tribune. Let's see where this is. News from the Rock. Okay, that looks like Monaco. Okay, as Monaco basketball signs 2 times NBA champion player. AS Monaco. AS Monaco basketball makes a big hit with the signature of American playmaker Norris Cole. Born on October 13th, 1988 in Dayton, Ohio, something. Princess Charlene of Monaco opens a school in Italy. Francophone minister meet at Grimaldi something or other. Albert II Monesque history in Normandy. Hey, that looks like the same guy from the other story about the heirs. Okay. So sports, is there it's not like how sports is the first section. I don't want sports. Show me news. Okay, we're just going to go with news. Sorry, gang. I'm clicking on this article. This is what we're listening to. Princess Charlene of Monaco opens a school in Italy. So there we go. On Saturday in the Abruzzo region of Italy, Princess Charlene named a school rebuilt thanks to the Monegasque Red Cross after the 2016 earthquake. It is a battered region in central Italy. The one in Abruzzo, ravaged by several earthquakes in 2009 and 2016. At that time, the Monegasque Red Cross raised £170,000, I guess, euros, in donations from people who wanted to support the inhabitants of these towns and villages, some of whom seem to have been bombed after the earthquakes. With these donations, the Monegasque Red Cross has identified a project on which it wanted to invest: the reconstruction of the Parozani primary school in the same way as Isola del Gran Sasso, Jesus Christ, a small town of 5,000 inhabitants in the province of Teramo. Teramo? Oh, why did I have this idea? Princess Charlene went there on Saturday to inaugurate the new school, which will soon accommodate 200 students. The school now has 1,000 square meters of infrastructure. That's weird. I've never heard it put that way before. You have 1,000 square meters of infrastructure. Okay. Why don't you just say that the place has fucking electricity or whatever it is? Infrastructure. Which the princess was able to appreciate during a visit with the authorities. Ooh, flick our light switch, Your Majesty. But also with many children in the commune. The new complex built at the entrance of the old town has an earthquake-resistant structure. Not earthquake-proof. Earthquake-resistant. I like that. Built of wood and steel. Well, there you go. That's why it's resistant, not proof. Gold medal of the Italian Red Cross. This project is also a testimony to the 30-year collaboration between the Monegasque Red Cross and the Italian Red Cross. The two entities meet regularly in the field in various missions, from the security of the Grand Prix to the accompaniment of refugees in the for fuck's sakes, why is every word so hard to pronounce? Ventimiglia camp. Donations from the CRM had also made it possible to rebuild the village in 2009, still in Abruzzo after an earthquake. To mark this link between the Monegasque and Italian Red Cross, Princess Charlene received the Italian Red Cross gold medal on Saturday from Rosario Maria Gianluca Valestro, some bitch with 4 names, vice president of the institution. Yay! Wasn't that a great story? Un colloque international de langue de la blah, blah. Well, that was a really long first segment of it. I'm going to try not to subject you guys to that every week. Maybe I'll pick one at random and read it first so that I can at least get this shit together. But I think as someone who doesn't, well, for starters, that's why I don't fucking read the news. But isn't it funny how, like, to them that's news and to us, to me specifically, I can't speak for you, but Jesus Christ, that was a boring story, eh? Some princess opened up 1,000 square feet of infrastructure, guys. Boy, howdy. It's like, wow, don't I feel like a smarter person for knowing that? When will that ever come up? Watch it happen like 3 times this week. They're like, so what was the name of that princess there? Oh, Princess Madagascar or whatever fucking name was. I forgot it already. But I heard they had like this giant 10,000 square feet. No, just 1,000 square feet of infrastructure. Yeah, I heard it's a fireproof building. No, fire resistant. It's fire resistant. It is made of steel and wood. Hey, who knows? Maybe one of you guys listening will see it on Final Jeopardy this week, and you'll feel like a genius, all because of my infield reporting on the subject. Oh, Jesus. Well, having said that, why don't we just move right on to the sponsor portion, guys? Since I'm on my back and I don't feel like editing, my sponsors, as I mentioned before, Uncle John's Bathroom Readers, they can, for the time being, we can just put them on the bench. All right, I'm benching, Uncle John's Bathroom Readers, my partners at portablepress.com. Let's move right on to Absolute Comedy, guys. As I mentioned, I am hosting the Absolute Comedy Ottawa Club this week with headliner Jason Blanchard. But there's, 3 great clubs, guys. Absolute Comedy Ottawa, Toronto, and Kingston. They have great shows there all the time. So why don't you just check out absolutecomedy.ca, see what shows are coming up, and you can check out something great. I'm also going to be recording my album in January. I'm there from, I think, January 20th, if I'm not mistaken, or 21st, whatever the Tuesday is, headlining right up until the 26th, but I'm recording on the Friday the 24th and Saturday the 25th. So if you want to come out to the show, I would absolutely love to have you. Go to absolutecomedy.ca, you can buy your tickets. Would love to see my onesies, would love to have your guys' laughs recorded on my album, would mean the world to me. So yeah, absolutecomedy.ca to check out great shows in your area. It's going to be a blast. And I'm not forgetting anybody else. No, I am not. My partners at DK, Dorling Kindersley, okay? So DK.com in the States, add a /CA to the end for Canada, or just Google DK Books wherever you are in the world. This week, book I've been looking forward to for some time. I had a chance to sort of, read a little bit of it before I fell asleep last night, so I'm not through it, but you bet your ass I will be by the end of the week. It's the Marvel book, and it is done in the style of DK's Big Ideas Simply Explained series, of which I have many, probably got 15 or 20 books in that series. Absolutely adore them. This one, though, my only beef with it is it's done same layout and same style, which is great, but it's not as big as the other ones, and it doesn't have the dust cover on them like the other ones. So as much as I stick it with my Big Ideas Simply Explained, because that's the thing too, right? Like, Big Ideas Simply Explained has like the ecology book, the economics book, the science book, the literature book, the philosophy book, the psychology book, the science book, like the math book. Like, it's got all these different concepts, like literature. I don't know if I said that one already. The history book. Like, there's so many different ones there. But they've also had ones called like the Star Trek book, the Sherlock Holmes book, the I'm trying to think of another specific one, the Shakespeare book. So I was like, oh, the Marvel book. They're doing one specifically about Marvel stuff in the style of Big Ideas. I was so jazzed for it. But this is the first one that they've done that it does not, it's not as big as the other ones. And it doesn't come with a dust cover. So when it sits on the shelf, it doesn't go with the rest of them. It does, but it doesn't. It's smaller. It doesn't have the dust cover. So it's different. Hey, I still love it. Don't get me wrong. It's just in terms of being a collector, especially I'll tell you this, the Big Ideas Simply Explained series, guys, was my intro into DK books. It was after I started collecting a bunch of the Big Ideas Simply Explained books that I reached out to DK and said, hey, I'm a big fan of your guys' stuff. Like, I've seen some of your other books around, and I reached out to them and started chatting with them. And it all stemmed from that. So again, I'm a big fan of the Big Ideas Simply Explained series, and the Marvel book is spectacular. It's done, like I said, in the same style. It's really cool because a lot of it's got like stories and things like that. So it does teach you about characters, but instead of being sort of like just like a character encyclopedia, it just tells you about sort of the Marvel universe and how things work. So they've got things like the Celestials in it, the Eye in the Sky. The Watcher was one of the very first characters in Fantastic Four, like the golden age of Marvel stuff. So it talks about the Watchers. There's actually a scene where Stan Lee was talking to them, I believe, in Guardians of the Galaxy. Volume 2 was a really cool scene. So you can see Stan just sort of sitting around chatting with those guys. I'm trying to see some of the other ones. Galactus is in it, and they talk about him. Now, the Silver Surfer was his, the guy who would find planets for him to eat, basically. I really like the stuff, the Asgardian stuff in here. I mean, like I said, rather than just sort of going kind of page by page, I didn't get too far into it. But I mean, this is when I was like right away, I'm like, yeah, I don't need to finish the whole thing before I rant and rave about how awesome it is. They got stuff on Ant-Man and the Wasp. Obviously Iron Man is in it. Some very cool artwork. They show you a lot of the different, models of Iron Man's suit. You should have seen it, his model Mark II. When I was reading the comics in this, like, he starts off as just a silver thing, and it's like, oh, people are scared of him, so he just makes the whole thing gold just turns into gold armor, but he's got kind of like a little skirt on it, which is absolutely hilarious because it makes no fucking sense as to why he'd have that. And then at one point in the comic, he's like, oh, I made these like collapsible, foldable iron boots. And it's like he's got these socks that are like made of iron that he just slips over his feet, and now they're boots. They collapse into place. So he's got like a side satchel that has this whole suit. It was back in the 50s when no one was going to question much, and it's just kids reading it, but it was still funny. They're just showing you some of those Mark suits in here. Obviously, they got Black Panther and stuff. Black Widow's in here with a lot of the different artwork styles that she's done, and she looks fucking sexy in all of them. Is there anything sexier than a comic book woman? You know, they just look perfect in every way possible. It's crazy. It is crazy. Oh, man. Yeah, guys, it's a great book. They've got Luke Cage and all the characters. There's some timelines in here. It's a great book. It goes along with a lot of the other DK stuff. If you're a Marvel fan, you want something fun. I mean, there's a great set of DK Marvel books. So I would strongly recommend this one, guys. It's just called The Marvel Book. Nice big red book. Expand your knowledge of a vast comic universe. Check them out on dk.com in States /CA in Canada. And of course, just DK Books. Google it wherever you are in the world if you're in either of those two countries I mentioned. And coming up this week, I've got some activations this weekend, but most of my week is going to be, prepping for my evening shows at Absolute Comedy. I've got some stuff that I'm planning that I haven't locked down yet, so I don't want to share the news with you guys just yet because I don't want to get your hopes up. I don't want to say hopes, but I don't want to get you guys excited for something that may not happen, and I don't want to jinx it. So just waiting to see if what I've got planned is going to come to fruition. But for the time being, I'm just kind of jazzed to be home. It's cold weather. I've booked my appointment to get my, snow tires on. And in the meantime, I'm just trying to kick this nauseous sort of head cold that I've got. So that's me. I mean, hey, sorry, episode 131 is a bit of a drag. Yeah, like I said, there was some stuff, guys. If I was a lesser person, or if I was an older version of me, I'd be able to sit here and just bitch and complain and, tell you what I didn't like about this weekend. But, I don't want to run anybody down. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to just complain at you guys, but I had a pretty stressful weekend, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm sort of coming out of the back end of that too. I'll have some funny shit coming up. I've got some plans to do some stuff. Just, for those of you that listen, I'm glad you guys are there. Truly I am. Hopefully I was able to just yammer on in the background while you were cooking or driving or something like that. Looking forward to seeing some friends, out of town, trying to plan that, see if it works. So, try to make it out to see my buddy Cam, try to make it out to see my friend, Red. But, yeah, I mean, the holiday seasons are coming up too, guys. I hope that, happy Remembrance Day for those of you, Veterans Day in the States, Remembrance Day here in Canada. I hope you guys are excited about the holiday season coming up. I'm a good I'm a big Christmas kid. I enjoy the holidays. So happy holidays to you guys. Literally wishing it to you on the very first day after Remembrance Day. Hey guys, Merry Christmas is what I'm trying to say with this whole podcast. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get into the holiday season. Hoping to stay warm. Guys, that Game Changers movie, man, I'm telling you, I just want to eat nothing but plants. I want a personal chef. If anyone wants to get me a personal chef for Christmas, I would love to just eat healthy vegetable foods made by someone who knows how to mix flavors so that it doesn't just taste like boring ass veggies. But I'm leaning more towards that. Really am. I'm planning on going to the club tonight and having a chicken salad. I guess is that what you call it? Chicken Caesar salad is what I want to have. But I know that the chicken's not ideal. I know that Caesar salads are not ideal because just a ton of calories in them. But I want to have a chicken salad. Doesn't it just sound like chicken salad sandwiches? Just like, yeah, I just want a big bowl of mushy mayonnaise chicken. Which doesn't sound half bad. Anyways, onesies, you guys are the greatest. I'm sorry it's only 40 minutes this week. I'm just not going to yammer on for the sake of yammering on. You've been with me this long. Appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys again soon.